We're going live. We're going live. We're going live. All right, we're live, everybody. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube. It's a mobility and core day. We're revamping kind of the middle of the week workout to add in a little bit of that mobility. And then the second half of the class will be based on some core work where we'll do some ground-based core. Coach Megan's jumping in here. Get some ground-based core, get some floor core, and then get some vertical core. So we're going to build in. It'll be a great middle of the week. Hopefully you've been mixing up your workouts, doing some of the fantastic studio workouts that are coming out. Been watching those every day. Love the variety between those. Lots of great options. So we're here to provide all the different opportunities for you guys, whether it's a lift, metabolics, hip hop, Pilates, flow, mayhem, tactical Tabata, movement and core, motion strong. There's so many great opportunities here at Hill Country Indoor for you guys to find. Spin, if you got a spin bike, Alex and the crew doing some great spin classes. So there's tons and tons. If I missed one, I apologize. But please, diversify, try some new stuff. You've got great opportunity, great time, great privacy, so you can try some new stuff. And if it's not for you, then find something that is. We want to provide as much great opportunities for you. So today, mobility means we're going to be moving and stretching a little bit, and then core working this whole midsection. So the first half is going to be that mobility. So let's go ahead, and we're going to start off working on just the hip flexors, and we're going to go down to a half kneeling position. So starting in that half kneeling position, I got my right leg forward, which means I'm going after my left hip flexor. We're going to keep things pretty straightforward for this one. Make sure you've got a big enough split that when you rock forward and you drive those hips forward, that you elongate that hip flexor, this knee stays over this ankle, and that you're not so narrow that you feel that stress on that knee. So let's go forward, rock through that hip flexor. If you want to take that left hand, so I got my left knee down, and add a high reach, you can add an extra component in there. So 4, rock on that left hip flexor, 3, and then here's number 4. We'll switch it up. Again, make sure you've got a decent enough split to where you can stay tall and drive your hips forward and feel a little bit of stretch there. And if you want to take that same side hand and reach high, you get 4, rock, and reaches on that side. There's 3, and then there's number 4. So we started off on the ground, taking a little bit of the balance and support that we need out of it. We'll hop on up. And now we're going to move with it a little bit. We're going to do the same pattern. We're going to do a back step. Same thing. The back step should drive my shoulders back, and I'm going to take both hands and reach up tall and lengthen that hip flexor. So let's go forward, back step, high reach to lengthen that left hip flexor. Reaching up tall, adding in that extra stretch with that high reach, and then we'll do the other side, back step. Doesn't have to be a huge lunge. We're just working on loading up that hip flexor, opening up my upper back a little bit with that high reach. I can do a single arm reach if I wanted to as well, as I'm stepping back and reaching high, lengthening up that whole side. And now the last one we're going to do is actually going to get us moving a little bit more to teach our body how to use that new range of motion that we did with not needing a whole lot of balance and support on the ground. Then we got up, we started moving it a little bit, challenging our balance and our support. Now we're going to move a whole bunch. Let's do a front lunge with a high reach. So that front lunge, I'm going to lunge with my right leg, and that's going to get my left hip flexor. So I'm going to do front lunge, high reach, and then drive back up out of it. 4 of those. So each one, we kind of start moving a little bit more, adding a little bit of balance and support in with each one. We start off on the ground, then we stand up and move a little bit, and then we stand up and move a lot. So we've got 4 of those lunges. We're doing 4 on each side. All right, that's the first round through on the hip flexors. We're going to hit it 3 different ways to give us a little bit different influence on each one. So we're going to start right back down in that half kneeling position. So in that half kneeling position, I'm going to face you on this one so you see the variation. But I've still got that good split. I'm still just going to drive my hips forward to lengthen that hip flexor. But now I'm taking that same side hand. And instead of just reaching up, I'm going to take that same side hand and I'm going to reach over the top. And that's going to add a whole different stretch component as I rock forward and reach. There's 3. And I rock forward and reach. There's 4. We'll switch sides. I give you a little angle here so you can see rocking forward. And I'm just reaching straight up over the top of my head. No rotation, just a good lean. I'm using that arm to kind of get my trunk to want to lean to the side, and that's going straight down through that whole lateral line on that hip flexor to open that up. Not a whole lot of movement. Both my body parts are staying pretty stationary. Let's take it on up, and now let's move a little bit more. So I'm going to step back with that leg. I'm going to do my left leg. We'll do that back step, and I'm going to do the same pattern. Back step, reach over the top. So it's the same movement pattern, same stretch series that we had on the first round on the ground, but now we're adding that over the top reach. So step back, same side, whatever side you step with, that's the one we're reaching with, because the step is going to lengthen, and then the reach is going to lengthen. I'm stretching that whole hip complex from both sides. And now let's get it moving a little bit more. Let's do that front lunge. So this one, whatever leg I lunge with, which side am I stretching? I'm actually going after the left side. So when I lunge with my right, I need to take that reach over the top. It should look the same as those back lunges. We're just now moving forward with it and getting into a deeper range of motion. So hopefully you're catching the system here. And I'm stretching the lunge and stretching that back hip flexor, and the reach is adding into it from the top. So we're kind of stretching it by moving our legs, and we're stretching it by going from the top. So that's our second round of that hip flexor. Let's go back down the ground. We did a high reach. We did an over the top reach. Now we're going to do a rotation reach. So I'm going to rock my hips forward to start the stretch, and I'm going to add that rotation reach to add to it. So rock the hips and rotate. Rock the hips forward and rotate. So the hips drive the stretch, and so does my reach with that rotation. Switching sides now. Rock those hips and rotate. Take those arms, rotate as you're rocking forward. Rock those hips, rotate. And then last one, rock those hips and rotate. So the hips rock initiates the stretch, and so does the reach. And now it's the same thing when we're upright. So we're going to do that back step. I'll do the left side. That back step, the back step initiates the stretch, and I'm going to reach across that way. So whatever leg I step back with, I'm reaching across with that same arm to get that big stretch. Reach across 2, just a step, doesn't have to be a big lunge yet. 3, last 1, 4. Now we'll go the other side. Back step, reach across 1, back step, reach across 2, reach across 3, last 1, reach across 4. And then now, following the system, we're going to go to that front lunge. We'll front lunge with my right leg, so I'm stretching that left hip, and I'm going to reach across with my left hand. So this is the big lunge. Front lunge, reach across. Front lunge. We're moving with a little different body part now. Now we're moving with the front leg, and we're reaching across with those hands, but we're still getting that hip. Reach across on the other side. 4, 2, here we go. 3, and the last one, number 4. That's a great hip flexor series to get us started off. One of the tightest body parts that we have is those hip flexors. The wall that's sitting that we do in the car, at a desk, at home, at work, wherever we're at. So that's a great system. We take the hip flexors, we're going out of the backside. We're going to go to the hamstrings. We're going to go right back down to the ground like we did before with that split stance. So for this one, it's more about the lead leg. So I'll turn you sideways so you get a good view of this one. I'm going to start off with my leg kind of already straight forward. This is the same starting position I had when I was doing the hip flexors. But instead of rocking forward and stretching that backside hip, I'm now going to take my hips and I'm actually going to rock backwards and try to straighten out this front leg. If you notice, I take my upper body and I lean it forward a little bit. If you want to take those hands, you can add a reach straight down with those hands if you can, as we're rocking back, getting that hip flexor. So there's nothing going on with my upper body other than just I'm staying upright and kind of leaning forward, or I'm reaching my hands down. Let's switch legs, and I'll show you straight ahead what that looks like. So I'm just rocking back, reaching straight down. Let my upper body go down with me. If your hamstrings are super tight, you may just extending that leg may be all you need. It's just rocking back. The lean forward or the reach down may be more than your hamstrings can handle, which is fine. That's why we're here. We're here to open up those hamstrings and give you some different series there. So just like before, we started on the ground where we don't have a lot of balance, have to worry about a lot of extra movement. We're going to come on up. We're going to move a little bit more now. We're going to take the same series. We're going to do a back step. But watch on this one. On this back step, it doesn't need to be very big. It's a short back step. And I'm just reaching straight down, lengthening that front hamstring. You can have a little bit of knee bend if you need to, or you can try to keep that leg pretty straight. It's all about how much hamstring flexibility you have. So back step. That back step takes my hips and already kind of pushes them backwards. It helps me understand that stretching that hamstring. Don't want to bend the knee at once. We're not squatting down. We're just taking a back step and hinging right at the hip. So a little knee bend is okay if you need to get those hands down the ground. You don't have to have that leg straight because your hips are going to push backwards and help you elongate that hamstring. One more for number 4. And then now we're going to take it just like we did on the other series. We're going to add a little bit more movement. So let's add a front step with a long, low reach. So now I'm going to do a front step, and I'm going to reach long and low. So now I have to step, put on the brakes, plus that reach is pushing me forward. So now I got 2 body parts that I got to decelerate. I got to decelerate my step, and I got to decelerate that reach. And each one of those should be really lengthening that hamstring. It's a step. It's a step and a reach. Not a lot of knee bend. We're not wanting to drop down into it like our lunges. Step, reach. Feel that hip hinge, that hamstring. The step makes me stop, and the reach gives me another challenge. So I'm challenging it from the bottom with the step, and I'm challenging it from the top with the reach. So there's our first hamstring series. Let's go back down to the ground and get into round 2. For this one, just like on our hip flexor, we're going to add in a little different reach component. So I'm going to face you for this one, but you guys know the rock back series that we're doing. Let's add a little bit of upper body rotation. So let's take those hands, and now I'm going to reach to the inside of my legs. So I'm going to rock back, reach both my hands to the inside of my leg. That's going to reach and stretch this hamstring a little different than when I was just doing it. If you can't reach down low, if that's too tough, just kind of drop your shoulder in on the inside. Think about dropping that shoulder, taking that elbow and going on the inside. 4 of those, we'll switch legs. Rock back, reach inside. Rock back, reach inside. Different little hamstring reaction. A little fun challenge there. It's 3. And last one, here's 4. Hop it on up. What do you think we're doing with our back steps? You got it. We're going to do a reach to the inside. So short little back step, and instead of reaching just straight down, take both hands and let's reach to the inside. So back step, reach to the inside. I definitely feel this version differently than the first round. Because that reach pattern is challenging up my range of motion here, my hamstring. Just by doing something different with my hands, I'm getting a whole different stretch through those hamstrings. And then now the front step, same thing. I did a long reach before. Now I'm going to take that reach and I'm going to reach toward the inside. So front step, long reach toward the inside. Front step. The front step makes me decelerate. The long reach makes me have to decelerate. And I'm really lengthening that hamstring. Let's hit the other side now. Front step, long reach toward the inside, long reach. Here's number 3. And then the last one, number 4. Great job. Let's go back on the ground. Let's get our last series for the hamstring. So I'm going to face it again, but you guys know we've got that rock back, what we're working on. So from that front face, we've done here, we've done here. Let's go there. Let's take the hands to the outside of that lead leg. So I'm going to rock back, reach my hands to the outside. This is a toughie. This is a real big stretch along that outside. Again, if you can't reach down low, just rotate that upper body as you're doing these rocks. Rotate your shoulders toward that lead leg. So I've got my left leg. I'm trying to reach toward the outside of that leg with each stretch. Reach, straighten out that lead leg. Rock back, straighten out that lead leg. One more. Great little warm-up series there on the hamstrings. Back steps, we've done reach center, reach inside, let's reach outside. I'm going to turn sideways here for you. Short back step, reaching down low. It's all about the hip hinge. All about that hip hinge. 2, reach, rotate 3, and reach, rotate 4. And then the other side from head on, back step. You see that, just that small little rotation is all it takes to add a new wrinkle to that hamstring stretch. And then we move the most with this last one. Front step, we've done long reach, we've done reach toward the inside, let's do reach toward the outside. So short step, long reach toward that outside. Short step, long reach. I definitely feel a different part of my hamstring having to work on this one. This is kind of a new challenge that we're reaching toward the outside. Long reach from the side. There's a short step, long reach toward the outside. Long reach. And then last one, long reach there. Great job, guys. We've worked on the hip flexors. We've gotten that posterior chain a little bit. Let's finish it out. We're going with a little upper back, a little T-spine. That's that middle section of your spine. You've got cervical spine, which is where your head and neck are. You've got your lumbar spine, which is low back, which we don't want to have to be moving a lot through there. We want to have that great mobility up through our shoulder blades through that thoracic spine. So back on the ground, just like before, we're going to start with as much support as we can. Then we're going to get up moving a little bit, and we're going to get moving a little bit more. So let's start off with our little quad base rocks. We're in that quad base position, hands right up underneath our shoulders. And we're just going to get a good double arm, palms down reach. So as I rock my hips back, I'm going to take both those arms and I'm going to slide them forward and extend that upper back. Let's get 4 of these. Rock back, extend. Here's number 3. And then here's number 4. From here, we'll stay on the ground and come to just a half kneeling position just for comfort's sake. Now we're going to get a little reach series. So with this reach series, I'm going to go alternating reaches, and I'm just going to reach up and extend. If my body wants to turn a little bit, that's fine, but I'm not trying to lean. I'm just reaching high, and then the other side, reach high. We're going to do 4. Each arm, there's 2, 2, 3, 3, and then 4, 4. And again, whichever leg you want to be kneeling on, that's more to comfort for you. We'll maybe alternate each side. And then let's finish it up. We're going to go down into a little push-up position. And if you can, try to be on toes and hands. But if you need to, you can be in a quad-based position as well. And we're going to work on some extensions. So that's going to require us to kind of lock in that shoulder, have a little bit more stability through there. So push-up position. I'm just going to reach long, reach long. That requires some great shoulder stabilization, but it's also getting my core kind of ready. Here's 3, 3, and 4, 4. That's priming up my core because we've got core coming up here in the next second half of class. So that's our little shoulder series. We're going to start back down the ground on that quad base. We've done palms down. Let's do palms up. So take your palms and point your palms up to the sky or thumbs if you have some shoulder range of motion limitations. And you're going to rock back, reach those palms up, come up out of it, rock back, reach those palms up. And then here's number 3. And then last one, number 4. So hopefully you feel a little different variation from those palms down versus palms up. You can kind of see it gets your lats a little bit, which is all connected with that T-spine. We'll go back to that half kneeling. For these, we did high reaches. These I do want you to reach over the top. So I want you to take those shoulders and I want you to reach way over the top. And now the other side, way over the top. This is get your core kind of warmed up as well. With each one of those reaches, you may feel a little stretch on that hip flexor again, which is great. It's all connected. There's number 4, and then there's number 4 there. So we got a little side to side, loosening up that upper back, getting that warmed up. Back in that push-up position, we did front reaches. Now I want you to reach straight out lateral. Work on that stabilization through that down shoulder side. Feet a little wide, getting that core primed up for core coming up here. So from the head view, it's just going to be a lateral reach. Back here, a lateral reach. And there's 2, and 2, 3, and 3, and last one, 4, and 4. So there's our little quick shoulder stabilization, T-spine stabilization through there. We're going to get our last series here on the ground, which is going to be rotations. So I'm going to kind of face you head on. We're still in that quad-based position. It's still going to rock back. But now, take your right arm and let's rock either palm up or palm down, whatever feels comfortable for you. Rock back, reach under. Rock forward, reach up. Let's get 4 of those. Rock back, reach under, big rotation. Rock forward, reach up. Rock back, reach under. Rock forward, reach up. I think that's 3. One more. Reach under. Reach up. Good. Let's switch sides now. Rock back, reach under. Get a good stretch. Reach up. Rock back, reach under, rotate. Reach up, extend it, open up that chest. There's 3. And then the last one, number 4. And then for our rotation reaches, you can be in any kind of stance you want. We're just going to do, we've done high reaches, we've done over the top reaches. Let's do rotation. But I'm going to add a little wrinkle into this one. All these bodyweight workouts and stuff that we've been kind of limited doing here, a lot of push-ups, It's hard to kind of pull those shoulders back. So that's what we're working on today. So instead of reaching across our body, which might encourage us to kind of curl up here, let's take that right hand and let's reach back and try to open it up. Reach back and open it up. Just like we were doing on the ground, we're just kind of moving a little bit more open free space. There's 2 and 2. So really reach back, open up that front side. There's 3, and the last one, 4, and 4. And then to add that stabilization component into it, in our push-up position, we reach long, we reach lateral. Let's do that reach up. Let's really try to reach up high, open up, challenge that shoulder stabilization, and open up our chest. 4 on each side here. So reach up, back down. Reach up. There's 1 on each side. 2, 2, 3, 3, and then here's number 4, and number 4. And that's our last one for that little T-spine specific one. I'm going to add in a quick little wrinkle. We're going to get a little bit more upper back as we finish out this, just because that's an area that we really don't get to focus on a lot. And I know with all the pressing and all the sitting and all the stuff we're doing right now, we all could use a little bit more thoracic spine. So for this last one, this is bonus round before we start core. We're going to do that, that seated T-spine extension. So sit down on the ground, legs out in front of you. The legs out in front help keep your pelvis stable. So that we go through this range of motion, it's coming through our upper back and not through our low back. If we're standing, we might compensate through that pelvis. So instead, we're just going to sit with our legs out in front. Hands go behind your head, kind of a relaxed position. Round yourself up, and I want you to drive those elbows up and back and try to flatten out that upper back. I'm turning sideways for you so you can see me really try to flatten out that upper back. Let's hit 4 of those. Round, extend, number 2. 3, and here's number 4. So you got the idea of the extension. We'll turn the facer for these because we're adding a wrinkle into it. Maybe a new wrinkle for Coach Megan as well. We're going to do that same one, extend, and then lean. Then come back and reset. We're going to do 4 totals. We're going to do 2 leans to one side, 2 leans to the other. So round it up, extend, sideways lean, back to the center, relax. Extend, sideways lean, back to the center, relax. Extend, sideways lean, back to the center, relax. Last one. Extend, sideways lean, back to the center, and relax. Ooh, that's a toughie. Get that extension and that lateral flexion. And then for the last one, we'll do the same thing. We're going to come up to the extension, but now we're going to rotate. So you're going to add a rotation. Try not to pull on your head. You know when you're pulling your head forward. You notice my hands kind of rest on the side here. I'm not locking them in behind my head, putting a lot of pressure on my neck. So hands are just by the side of your head. Get that extension, and then now let's rotate one side back to the middle, relax. Up, extend, rotate to the other side, back, relax. Up, extend, rotate, one more. And then the last one, rotate. Well, my rotation one way is a whole lot different than my rotation the other. I can see some limitations in my T-spine. But that's a great series to kind of open up that T-spine from the ground-based stuff we did all the way up to those seated T-spine extensions with some new leans and rotations. All right, hopefully that got you loosened up, a little warmed up, got everything ready to roll. We're going to jump right into our core block. So this is the second half of class. Core is going to be, we're going to do some ground-based stuff, we're going to do some upright stuff, we're going to be moving around, we're going to get a lot of great core stuff going. So if we're on the ground, where you going, Coach? Timer. Oh, Coach is getting the timer. We're going to run the timer. So we're going to run 30 seconds. I'm going to run the timer. All right, I'm going to run the timer. We're going to do 30 seconds of work, rest a little bit, 30 seconds of work, rest a little bit, 30 seconds of work. So we're going to get that thing going. Let's start off on the ground with everything warmed up with a nice, just simple base, toes, and elbow plank for 30 seconds. So we're jumping right into this. Hopefully you're already warmed up, got a little bit of core engagement from that last T-spine block. We'll get the clock set up, 30-15. We're going to start this thing in 10 seconds. I don't even need to look at it. I know it's working. I can see it. With a toe and elbow plank, perfect posture. It should look just like you would if you were standing upright. Everything nice and flat, just keeping that core locked in tight. Belly button pulled in. Hips aren't high in the air. Upper back's not rounded. Everything's just nice and level with an easy 30-second plank here. Keeping everything nice and solid. We're already past that halfway point. 30-second planks are easy for you guys. This is a good little variation. If you need to go down on the knees, you can. If you need to go with those feet up, that's an added challenge. See if you can stay on those toes and elbow plank. All right, we're already on the ground. Let's flip it around. We worked on that stabilization. Now let's get a little movement. Let's do a double arm, straight arm sit-up. So legs can be slightly bent. Arms are going to start straight up over your head. And we're going to sit up and extend. Work on that upper back extension we just warmed up with. Drive those hands up. Extend that upper back. Drive those hands up. Really finish this thing out. Don't just do a half sit-up here. Finish it out with a big high reach. Finish it out with that big high reach. We're getting some flexion now, but we're also working that extension at the top, so we're not rounded up the whole time. Extend that upper back. Extend that upper back. All right, let's get popped up. Quick stand. For these, I'm going to turn sideways for you. So we did some high reaches. Let's get a little vertical core. Let's go alternating up and back reaches. If your shirt was tucked in, you would untuck it with each one of these reaches. So it's up and back. Extend those ribs. Up and back from the side. Up and back. I'm untucking my shirt. I'm not leaning far back with my low back. I'm working on that extension through my ribs. I'm trying to create distance between my pelvis and my rib cage. So I'm reaching high and back. Reaching high and back to extend those ribs. Open everything up. Really getting that big core lengthening here as we get a stretch through there. All right, that's a great little 3-block series. Let's go back down the ground and get it started up. And again, we're going to go back into that plank. If you need a challenge on your plank, you can do those one-arm planks that we've done before. I'm gonna do a 2-arm plank again. But you can try 15 seconds of a 1-arm plank. Let's go back to just a regular old 2. This is a great series. It may not feel that challenging just doing a regular plank, but that stabilization that you're building is great. And I love to talk through these planks because that means that I'm breathing and I'm not creating that stability just by holding my breath, but I'm using those deep internal stabilizers. And I'm still able to talk, I'm still able to breathe, I'm still able to function without feeling like I'm just having to hold my breath for 30 seconds to keep that core tight. Like back down to those sit-ups. Challenge yourself with a full, all the way up, good, perfect posture sit-up with this. Don't end it short and round it up. Let's not change all those great mobility exercises we just worked on. Extend, come all the way up. Extend, all the way up. Nice, good, smooth range of motion. Control yourself back down. Same pace up, same pace down. So I'm not trying to throw myself up and then flop myself back down. Control it all the way up. Control it all the way down. A little bit of time under tension on those abs is great. Come on up. Let's play around with some foot stance differences here. I'm going to go right foot slightly forward, but I'm still doing that same thing. So if my shirt was tucked in, I'm pretending like I'm trying to untuck that shirt with each reach. So, ready? Reach up and back. Reach up and back. Extend that distance between your rib cage and your pelvis with these reaches. So not leaning back, just reaching up and back. Really try to elongate. Reach. Try to untuck that shirt with those high reaches. Keep reaching. Lengthen that core. Get it all opened up. And then this is a great extra mobility series as well. And we lengthened up that core. All right, last round for those planks. You want to see the 1-armers? No, I'm not doing them today. The 1 arm would be here, and it'd be 15 seconds, and you'd switch and do the other arm for 15 seconds. These are extra hard. You've got to lock in that core and stay nice and tight. Try to keep your pelvis level. You don't want to be rounded up. You want that pelvis down level as you're holding that single arm plank. And then halfway, boom, it's halfway. You get to switch, and you get to challenge the other side. Again, I'm still talking to know that I'm breathing, and that I'm not just creating that tension by keeping everything tight, but I got those deep stabilizer muscles that are working there. Woo! I don't want to do those again. Straight arm sit-ups. Perfect posture at the top. Nice and tall. Flatten out that back. Same speed up. Same speed down. Work on that time under tension. Do those sit-ups. Straight arm sit-up. Nice and tall. Control yourself back down. Straight arm sit-up. Nice and tall. Straight arms. Use those hands and think that I'm driving my chest up with those hands. And I'm finishing right up over my head like I'm diving into the water. Great, perfect posture. Arms up by my ears. Big back extension. Take your time on these speed. A little time under tension on those abs is great. And we're finishing out with a little bit of that vertical core series. Let's go left leg forward, right leg back, big alternating reaches, opening up those rib cage, creating separation between my pelvis and my ribs. Reach up and back, feel that lengthening of that front side abs. Reach up and back. A little different core in a lot of places. This is just a great alternative. There's so many different great ways and great methods to work that core. As long as we're focusing on our ribs are moving and our pelvis is moving, then we're getting some great core work. And that's the first series. Let's pause this guy real quick. If you need a quick sip of water, grab a quick sip. We'll pause it. Pause. Reset. We'll reset. For this next one, we're going to follow the same format. We're going to do some stuff on the ground, and then we'll come up and do some stuff on upright with it. But now we're going to move to a little bit more lateral series. We've done most of the exercises we did there. We're kind of basing this front plane of motion. Now let's do a little lateral side. Let's get a little bit of the obliques. Let's get that lateral line going. So we're going to start off with just a side plank. And we're going to do 15 seconds on one side and quickly switch and do 15 seconds on the other. So let's get this thing going with a little side plank series. Feet up underneath you, elbow right up underneath that shoulder. I pick that hip up and let's hold it. 15 seconds of easy side plank. Take that upper arm if you want to and reach up high to make sure you've got great lateral posture here and you're not rounded up. We're holding that guy up top. Feel that right there on that side. Keep working that side. And are we ready? All right, let's switch sides. Quickly switch. Pop up on that other side. Hold that posture up. Keep working that lateral stability. And then relax. I'm going to stay in this because we're going to take the same position and we're going to do those dynamic bridges. We've worked on these earlier this week. If you joined us for a previous class, they're a great way to challenge that lateral stability. Same thing, 15 to 15. You ready? All right, here we go. Working that down, hip, up. Drop that hip, bring it up. If you want to pick up that top leg, you can add in that extra challenge. I don't need it. Just doing them regular is challenging enough for me. All right, ready? Switch. Flip side as fast as you can. Hip up, hip down. Hip up, hip down. Feel that little side burn. Nice work. Keep working that lateral line. And we got it. That's not bad. You may need to do a quick flip, put a towel up underneath that arm. Let's pop up. And let's do that reach series. So with this reach series, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to reach over the top. Let your hips move as you reach over the top. Let those hips move. So reach up over the top, my hips go. My hips move. I'm trying to, again, if my shirt was tucked in, I'm trying to untuck it with each one of these big reaches. I'm lengthening that core. I'm opening up my rib cage with every one of these reaches. Really challenging how I'm reaching high, I'm reaching up over the top. I'm letting those ribs move, let my pelvis move, and I'm getting my core engaged. May not feel a burn in there, but it's a great core exercise. All right, back down to side planks. A little bit more of a stabilization-based core workout today. We're not going to feel the burn on all these exercises, but we're definitely helping create that good stability through the core, which is going to help with your posture, which is going to help with back pain, which is going to help make you feel better. So we get into this mindset sometimes that if you don't feel a burn, if you don't feel some sort of tough activation through that exercise, that it's not a great exercise. Stabilization and that ability to hold that great posture and have those good internal core muscles just as important as anything that we feel. Like I feel the burn, I feel the muscle working hard. Those deep muscles are just as important, probably more important, because they're the ones that are going to really help us back pain, move better, feel better, and ultimately look better. All right, let's do those side planks again. All right, here we go. Drop that hip, drive it up. These you'll probably feel a little burn in. Feel a little bit of that movement on that lateral line. Two more. 1, 2, switch sides. Other side real quick. Here we go. Up, down, up, down. You can feel a little burn on this lateral line. We're getting this is a little movement, but we're still working that great core stabilization. And then on these upright runs, you may not feel a big burn. You may feel like it's more of a stretch. That's fine. Let's open up that posture. Let's open up that core. Let's just get that good stabilization and that good movement through that midsection without it having to feel like, if I don't feel it burning, if I'm not sore the next day, it wasn't a good, effective workout. Those aren't necessarily signs of how productive or effective a movement is. Here's a great exercise that's going to help lengthen up our core, make us feel taller, make us be taller, keep that spine nice and straight and solid, open up those ribs, overcome that life that we've been living for the last month of sitting down at home and just being forced into that seated position sometimes. All right, we're going to finish out our last series here of lateral planks. We ready? 15, 15. All right, let's just hold it. So this is just the stabilization ones. Working on that good lateral stabilization, locking in that core, giving us that great lateral stabilization line. I keep using that word, but that's the best way to describe it, is we're just creating a good, stable base. Everything moves around that core, legs, arms. The stronger we can make it, the more stable we can make it, the better it's going to be. And relax. Let's add those little lateral plank movements. We got that little hip drop, raising it up. Ready. Here we go. Go. Hip up, hip down. Left my clock. There we go. Jump the gun there a little bit. It's all right. A few extra reps on this side will be good for you. Drop that hip, raise it up. Trying to keep that good, perfect posture again. All right, one more. Flip it around. Hit that other side now. Drop that hip, raise it up. Almost there, guys. Keep that good, straight line. And then let's pop it up, standing up top for those over-the-top reaches. If you had some light dumbbells, you could have added some light dumbbells into that. That would have been a great idea. But we're just going to open up that lateral rib cage, open up that core. Ready? Here we go. Reach up and over. Reach up and over. Untuck that shirt. Untuck that shirt. Let those hips move, whichever direction they want to move. Core muscles are linked from those ribs down into the pelvis, up and through the spine. It's not all about those abs in front, but it's about all the different muscles that come through that midsection. And that is the second block of the lateral hip, the lateral core. We'll pause it. Pause. Reset this one. And now we're going to get into our last series, which is going to add a little bit of rotation component into it. So we're going to go back down to the ground, and we're going to play around with some plank positions again. But now with these plank positions, we're actually going to add a little bit of movement into them. Then we're going to move a little bit more on the ground, and then we're going to get up. And you probably guessed it, we're going to do some rotational reaches. So this is a good middle of the week one. Not necessarily going to create a lot of burn, not going to give you that racing heart rate, but giving us some good core stability work to keep us ready for the rest of the work week. All right, let's go down into that plank. So for this first plank series, we're going to go into a push-up position plank. And to challenge our little rotation stability, we're going to keep that core nice and solid, and we're just going to do a reach to the opposite shoulder, reach to the opposite shoulder. Every time I pick up that hand, my shoulders want to dip. I got to create some stability there. My hip is going to want to drop. I'm going to have to create some stability there. So you're trying to keep your body as straight as possible. A couple of coaching cues for this one. Feet wider than normal, hands narrower than normal. Don't get in a regular push-up position where your hands will be wide, your feet will be narrow. Reverse it. Feet wider, hands a little narrower, and then a nice, slow, controlled opposite shoulder touch. Trying to keep all of this, especially your pelvis, as still as possible. We got that? All right, let's start this bad boy up here in 10 seconds. Push-up position, opposite shoulder reach, called a Davies touch. We ready? All right, so push-up position, feet are wide, hands a little narrower, touch that opposite shoulder. Touch that opposite shoulder. Notice I don't have any wiggle in my hips. Everything's staying nice and solid. I'm moving with nice and smooth, controlled motion. It's not a fast race. It's a smooth, controlled motion. The more I have to work on stabilizing with just one hand, the more it's going to challenge that rotational component. Keep that stabilization going. Almost there. Nice work. Let's stay with that rotation component here. Let's get some cross-body sit-ups. We're going to go back to that flexion exercise. We're going to feel a little burn. We're going to get a little ab burn. I want you to reach up and across with each one of these. So I'm going to start facing you. You can see up, reach across. Up, reach across. Add a little bit of rotation. Not a crazy reach across. Just reaching with that opposite hand. Give me a little bit of rotation through that core. I'm still trying to sit all the way up. Working on that good, tall posture at the top. Just adding in a little rotation in each one of these sit-ups. Challenge my core and the rotation component today. And then we'll pop it on up. You know where we're going with these. We've done high reaches. We've done over-the-top reaches. Let's get some rotation reaches. So you can reach back and open up that chest. You can reach across, get that core working. Either way, we're letting all this rotate. I'm probably going to mix it up and add in some different ones. If you have some dumbbells, you can add some dumbbells to these exercises, these reaches. Probably should have said that earlier. You'll be great either way. Let those hips move with you. Great mobility, great core. Just getting us moving in that rotation plane. Alrighty, great work. You know the series. Let's go back down to it. Push-up position, feet wide, hands narrower, reaching. I'm going to turn sideways here so you can keep an eye on my pelvis. Well, you're not watching me, you're watching yourself. So push-up position, we're ready, feet wide. Touch that shoulder. Touch that shoulder. There you go, guys. 30 seconds to work. Work on that good stabilization. Keep that core tight. Nice and smooth movements. Not rushing those hand touches. Slow it down a little bit. 10 more seconds. Almost there. And sit-ups with a rotation reach. Try to sit all the way up as you reach up and across. Get that good posture that we've been working on all day long, even our seated posture. So sit up with an opposite reach. Ready? Reach across. Control back down. Reach across. Smooth motions. Doesn't need to be speed reps. Just working some time under tension on those abs. Halfway there, guys. Reach across. Back down. Reach across. Keep working that core. And we're now on to those upright reaches. So pop on up. You have 15 seconds to get up on your feet. Remember, you can reach back to open up that T-spine. You can also reach across in the front to get that rotation. I mix it up. I do reach in front, reach back, across, reach behind, across, reach behind, a couple more, across, last ones, reach behind, uh-oh, still more time, get some more of that rotation, last one, I'm gonna get one more reach back, and one more reach back, so I like to balance it up. My last ones here, push-up position, slow, reach across, create that great core work here. Last 30 seconds of these guys, you can do it. Ready, here we go. Feet wide, hands narrow, touch that opposite shoulder, keep everything stable. Nice, smooth, controlled motion. Touch the shoulder back down. Not speed reps, just good controlled reps. Halfway. Keep that core nice and tight. You're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Last set of sit-ups, guys. Reaching across. Good full sit-up. Get that rotation reach. Finish out this series here. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Reach it up, reach across. Sit up, reach across. Good. Sit up, reach across. There you go, guys. Use that reach across. Add a little bit of that rotation component with it. Sit up, reach. Nice and smooth motions. Using those abs to pull us up, not using momentum from our upper body. And then that's going to lead us to our last series, which is those rotation reaches, reaching in front, reaching back behind, just adding in a little bit of rotation, standing rotation. Great mobility exercise as well for that T-spine. So we're getting a double whammy with these rotation reaches. Again, if you had some dumbbells, you can add some dumbbells in. Let those hips go with you. Protect that lumbar spine by letting your hips rotate when your shoulders rotate. If your hips stay stationary as your shoulders rotate, a lot of that rotation, that torque, goes through that lumbar spine. Let those hips go with you. That's why we work on that hip mobility. Alrighty, crew. that's a nice little Wednesday recovery reset session where we got some great mobility through the hip flexors, great mobility through the hamstrings, opened up that upper back, and then we did some core work. Not necessarily burning core, got a little bit of sweat on, but definitely worked on some great stabilization through that midsection. We're glad you guys joined us here today. We've got another strong workout. Look for those things posted up on our YouTube channel or on Facebook, and we'll see you next time for our motion class, which will be live, running with the clock. Have a great day.